Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bowl with Value. I am Valerie Bercier, and this week we are going to do something different. Behind me is a 35-foot pattern, and on the right lane is a 48-foot pattern. So we're going to compare two different lane patterns. I have 6 bowling balls that you'll see, and I'll go through on each of the pattern, give some tips, and hopefully give some value. Stick around and find out how they all compare on these two different patterns.
This brings up by 12. Pass it. Really good look.
All right, here we are. I am going to treat this like a house pattern, as if I don't know the actual pattern. I think that's the best way to attack a pattern anyway, because then there won't be as much bias. If you know the pattern, then you tend to have certain things in your mind about how it's going to play. So typical big dot, second arrow. Well, I'm actually looking at 12, so let's do that. Okay, I slid on 21, so it was almost big dot. Obviously didn't hit the second arrow, but holy cow. So I chose to start with the Hammer NV Tour. Solid cover stock, low flare, so low differential, not a lot of hook potential. That's what the low differential means. And that hooked a lot. I chose to start with this ball because of that. It's supposed to be a really smooth response, and that's what you want. You want your smoothest response bowling balls on short patterns. And typical move off of that would be left, but on short patterns, you actually want to see what's further right to see if we can get the ball to slow down earlier and smoother. So off that, I'm actually going to go 3 right with my feet and another 2 right with my eyes. I got it further right. And my 9 pin, so that's still showing that it's still pretty quick response. I'm going to go further right with it, see if I can get it to hit the pocket flush, and then we'll try a couple other bowling balls. Ones that are likely, actually the perfect mindset might be smoother than this NV Tour. So we'll see. It's got a little bit of shine on it right now. So it was that was 15 with my feet. So I'm going to go to 13 with my feet, and I'm going to look at 6, 7. I slid on 17. Wrap 10. If you caught one of my Instagram posts that I posted recently, 9 pins, 4 pins, wrap 10s, those are all too quick response. So how do you fix that? You can go to a slower motion bowling ball and or change the surface, which I've got some pads over here, or roll it more, which we all know I can roll it more, meaning like I have higher tilt, so I have pretty quick response reaction anyway, naturally. So why don't I try the perfect mindset in that same spot and see if my prediction of this ball being a little bit slower response, smoother, is correct. So that was 13 with my feet, like 6, 7. I like it. Slower response. Take note. Brunswick perfect mindset, slower response. They're drilled really close. And again, if you watched my last video, I did 2 different layouts because you really want to have the same layout on all different bowling balls so that you know predictably which ball to go to. So I really like that. Oh my gosh. How about, so that's a hybrid asymmetric, but again, slower response. So Beyond Infinity, it's a pearl. I have a little bit of surface on this just from experimenting a little bit. It's got like a used 1500 on it, so it should slow it down. A little bit more surface means it's gonna read earlier. Well, why don't I try the same spot with this and see what this bowling ball does on this short pattern. 13, and I'm looking at 6-7. Holy monster hook. That ball does have I believe it has a higher differential, so more hook potential. That one hooked way more than the Hammer NV Tour. I could hit, you know what, I could hit that with a little bit more surface, but characteristically, I don't want to do that because we're going to go to the long pattern and that might have a chance on the long pattern. So I'm progressively going to quicker response bowling balls. I'm now going to go to the Hammer effect and see if this is going to boomerang on the short pattern. That's my prediction. It will, because it's a very quick response, hooks a lot bowling ball. It's usually you need a little bit more friction in the front. This is a fresh short pattern, by the way, brand new practically. I just love this. Does anybody else bowl in short patterns and go, oh my gosh, my ball is hooking so much? You probably just got the wrong ball in your hand. I could try to, why don't I actually, with this bowling ball, I'm gonna try to move further right even, flatten out my hand, because maybe you don't have a lot of options in your bag and you need to try to make the ones work. I would actually just like steer clear of this ball on this pattern because it's so quick response. I think even if I flatten out my hand, it's still gonna check mark instead of roll and hook at the right spot. So I'm gonna try to hit outside of 5. I was successful in rolling it more. So you could do that too. By the way, this effect does have some surface on it too. Again, I was putting a lot of surface on my bowling balls at one point to slow them down because I need the bowling ball to slow down. All right, you know what? Last one out of the reactive ones, the Theorem, it's actually even quicker response for me. Drilled really close. I mean, maybe a few degrees different than the effect. Let's see. I'm gonna stay on the same spot that I threw the effect, and I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna try to throw it the exact same. Same thing. That's so quick. It's like skid, 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 left turn. And that's just the characteristic of that bowling ball. It's so quick response. My prediction is that it's gonna work really well on the long pattern. All right, last ball here. Ball 6 of 6, the Hammer X. I have a review on this already, and it was surprising how much it hooked on a house pattern. So on short patterns, let's confirm that it actually reacts. I'll stand in the same spot, but I'm gonna throw it a normal release. So that was, I was trying to stand on 9. I mean, I was standing on 9. I don't try to stand on 9. And hitting like 4 or 5.
Your order is ready.
Not bad. I hit the pocket. I could play further right if that's your jam. I like to play that area. I'm not uncomfortable near the gutter. But what I could do is actually try to move further left and see if that's the move, or I mean, if you really want, you can hit this with surface to get it to read a little bit earlier. Let me just make like a two left with my feet, 1 with my eyes. See if I can get it to hit the pocket and strike. it caught some more oil. Even though this pattern is pretty flat, it's probably tapered near the gutter, so maybe the move actually would be to go further right with it. But guess what? It's controllable. I've hit the pocket now twice. That's 9 spare, 9 spare in theory. Especially if you're bowling on a pattern like this in a tournament. All right, last shot here, and then we're gonna switch it over to the long pattern. I'm gonna move back right. I'll go one more right from where I left the 10 pin 2 shots ago. Will it strike? I like it. All right, let's move over there, get warmed up, see what balls look good. Maybe we can learn something.